Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Robert Pay, and I want to talk a little bit today on the incident that we hear circulating the news and about the shooting in school and children. I want to talk a little bit when I listen to the news and I hear the issue on gun control and reducing violence in school, restriction on assault rifles. I want to give you a little my take on the issue and how we can solve this issue, based on my perspective and what I have seen, what I do know, and what I have realized, and what I believe to be true. I got 5 points today that I want to talk about. There are many points, but I chose 5 points today I want to talk about. You may choose to listen. I hope everyone can listen, especially the government. I hope the government of the United States of America can listen to this, and let's get back to living a normal life. Alright, how do we control, eliminate, or reduce gun violence, school shooting, today in our today's world? Now, this can be applied everywhere. It's not limited to the United States, but it can be applied everywhere that people face this problem. However, unfortunately for us, there are more gun violence in the United States when it comes to school shooting than any other place on the planet. And many times we have to ask the question, why are these things so? Many of the time, and many things that I've heard on the news recently is about how to place restriction on the production and the distribution of guns, especially assault rifles. The second thing I hear is that mental problem. People try to create a reason why people do these evil things that they do. I don't agree with any of them. I don't agree with any of them. In fact, personally, for me, when it comes to the production of guns, I think there should not be any production of guns because, number one, the reason why guns were produced or are being produced is for them to be used. And the reason why people buy guns and is to use them. Basically, there are many uses of guns, and but the bottom line is you buy, you're gonna use it, whether to hunt or whether to go out, whether to sell, whether to go out and do act of terror. Uh, you just have to use it. But my belief is when you want to put a complete stop to gun violence, you have to stop the production of guns, which that will not happen. It will never happen. I don't believe it would ever happen. And besides, there are more guns around to cause any harm and any damage than anyone can think about. And we hear every day there have been more creation of even the worst deadly, even nuclear guns and all those things. Yeah, the world is getting to a place that even in your sleep, even when you are sleeping, you are still afraid. But we want to focus our attention on how to reduce school shooting. And for the 5 pointers that I have today, the first one I want to talk about is the restoration of discipline to parents. What is that? If you look in our society today, parents do not have the right anymore to discipline their children. And if the child pick up the phone and dial 911 and the police come and then social service get involved, and some people who haven't had kids in their entire life but went to school and got a little paper called a certificate, how to train children, stand before you and try to tell you how to train your child or children when they don't even know, they haven't even lived in a house with a child, not for even a single day. Not everything you learn in the classroom, and even when we were in school, we were told, we were taught that not everything you're going to learn in school. That's why you have to work. After you have gone through the school is just the basic. The word is where you actually learn when you get out there. That's why at every graduation ceremony you hear, uh, now you have begin the real journey. So the real journey is not when you go to school and get all those papers. So stop the idea that someone with certificate is more capable of installing discipline into a child than someone who has a child and actually live with a child, or living in the same house with a child and trying to bring up the child in the best way possible. Now, the downside to that, there are also child abuses, which of course we know there are limits to everything. To every good thing, you have its faults. But the bottom line is, parents should not be afraid to discipline the child because of government regulations and the fear of losing their children. I remember when we were growing up, when we went wrong, when we misbehaved, we got spanked. And at that time, it seemed to be very bad for us, and we hated it. We hated the punishment. We hated to be spanked. We hated any form of punishment that our parents put on us. But as we grew up, and now we are seeing the world, we get to realize that because of those punishment, because of those spanking, which we call whip, because of those things, we are better today. Some of us have never been to jail. Some of us have never gotten a problem that will go to the higher level. But the thing is, discipline helps children. No matter how you look at it, it helps children. For example, the most popular discipline you have in America today is timeout. What in the world is timeout? You go to school, you misbehave in school, they suspend you because they can't discipline you, so they suspend you, and then you come home and then your parents give you timeout. Well, when some of us were going to school, we used to be excited if we can stay home just for one day. So just imagine the children today who wants to stay home and not go to school, getting suspension from school, and coming home and getting what's it called, timeout. What is timeout? Timeout is you go in your room and stay in your room and not go out. Children have everything they need in the house. Most children don't even go out to even associate with the other children, which we will get to that point later. But the bottom line is, timeout is not punishment. It is one part of punishment. It's not everything. Parents should be able to tell the child, this is wrong, and I will spank you because you went wrong, without getting in trouble. And today in school, the school teach the children, when your parent spank you, dial 911. Well, you don't expect the child to turn out good if they got 911 at their fingertip for every discipline that occurred to them. In essence, the behavior we instill in our children determine what they do out there. And thank God that some of us received those discipline from our parents, and this is who we are today. Number two, I'm not going to dwell on each one of them too long because I don't intend to take up a lot of time. Most of these things some of you already know. It's just good to remind us most of the time. Number two, restore discipline to school administration. Schools do not have disciplinary rights. They have disciplinary committees. They have all these things set up, but they don't have disciplinary rights anymore. If a teacher discipline a student for misbehaving in his or her class, that teacher faces discipline from the board. Because if that teacher doesn't go through the disciplinary process from the school board, the superintendent, the district superintendent, whatever it is, the higher authority gets involved, the school gets in trouble. So teachers are afraid to discipline children. And you can sit in my class for a year and behave unseemly, portray an attitude that will disturb my class, and expect me to say awesome. No, that's impossible. That lie is from the devil, and we send it right back there. But today, teachers cannot discipline students. Even school authorities cannot discipline students. They got what they have developed nowadays, detention. You misbehave, you get detention. Detention, for those of you who don't know, is at the end of the regular school day, you stay a couple of minutes or maybe an hour, and in a specific class with all the rest of the students from the rest of the school who have committed, who have misbehaved, and you stay there, and you have one teacher or one person supervising all of you, and make sure that you don't get out until your time is over. Have you ever seen detention classes? Have you ever seen how misbehaved it is? Have you ever noticed that you will find one group of students in detention every time? Have you ever noticed that, or have you ever thought about it? We don't think about these things because that's the only option the school has, other than suspension. That's the only option. When we were going to school, when we were in school, we used to get spanked. So you know that if you misbehave, you will get spanked, or you get you get suspension. And that suspension goes to your parents, and when you get home, you have to explain why you got suspension, and then your parents spank you for getting suspension, so that you know next time not to do what you did to get suspension. So basically, discipline was in the home and in the school. So students walk chalk line. Now, don't get me wrong. There were students who, no matter what discipline you bestow on them, they will still be who they are. They will still disturb your class. They will still misbehave. They will still disrespect you, teachers, administration, parents. There were still children who, no matter how or what you do, will still carry on bad behavior. We are not talking about that. In many cases, over time, those students change. But we are not talking about. We are talking about students in general. No discipline in the home, no discipline in the school. So children nowadays make the rules. Children make the rules. If a child complains over one thing over and over and over and over, and the parents keep bothering the school have to go to a meeting, the school board have to go to a meeting and figure out how to incorporate to make that child satisfied, and look at the weightiness of the rest of the students that are infected or affected by that particular act, and see how best they can incorporate that into the school system, so that the parents don't feel bad, and the students find a way to fit in. Let me make it clear to you, there are some students that will not fit in. If you're trying to make everyone fit in, you will make no one fit in. And that's where we are getting today. And that's why we have so much violence in school. But we'll stop on that. You can do more research on that. You can think about it and see how best we can help our children today. Because this has to do with every child. Number 3, Stop the betrayal by telling children they are good even when their behavior is leading them on the wrong path. This is very common. Every child, the first thing that was instituted or introduced was no child left behind. Awesome. As the world is speeding, as with knowledge is increasing, it is good that no child be left behind. However, there are some children that are bad. We need to tell them this behavior is bad and it needs to be changed. Nowadays, you got 20 students that run in a race, and one person wins, but everybody gets a reward. That's bad. Because what you are installing in the child, in those children that did not win, is no matter what you do, you are a winner. Good or bad, you are a winner. And then those children grow up and realize you lied to them. And when a child realizes that the parents or the school lied to them, the reaction is not good. And most of what is going on are the reactions of what has been told to the children. Most of what is going on are because we lie to children too much. Government needs to stop. School needs to stop. Parents need to stop. If a child is bad or portraying a bad behavior, let them know that that behavior is wrong. Let them know if they did not do well. Let them know they did not do well. If the passing mark is 70, 80 or 90, whatever it is, and they go below that, let them realize that they went below that. And the result of not meeting up to the standard is not getting what the standard requires. So if it will cause you to repeat third grade three years, so be it. If it will cause you to have to weed the grass or wash the dishes, whatever it is, 3 to 4 times, let it be so. So that when they do it, when they finally get it, they will realize that hard work pays. Let us stop fooling our children. It will come back to us, and it is coming back to us. Stop fooling the children. That betrayal. Some of you are happy today that your parents did not fool you. That they told you this thing is wrong, this thing is wrong, and this thing is wrong. We can do the same for our children and help them through it. Most of the time, telling the children or failing the children, letting them know that that their effort was not good, and they need to put in more effort and more attention with more focus. Most of the time, where we fail is we are not available to help them. We have to be available. We have to make ourselves available to help them, as parents, as government, and as school. So stop betraying the children. Number 4, allow children to associate with their fellow and not isolate themselves in the interest of bullying. That word always sounds funny to me when I hear it. Bullying. When we were growing up, they called it teasing. Today they call it bullying in America. When you go to other places, I'm from Liberia in Africa, and we call it teasing. For some of us, those things made us strong. It made some weak, but for the majority of the population, it made us strong. Bullying is life. You find bullying in school. You find bullying at the job. You find bullying in the White House. In fact, the person that is most noted for bullying in America is the president. President Trump. I love the man. I like him as a person, not as a president, because he makes some. He's. Let us not get into politics, but he's president of the United States. I respect his position. I respect his office. There's some things he and I don't agree upon, but he's one of the big bullies. He bullied a lot of people a lot. So bullying is even in the White House. Why train and teach our children that bullying is not tolerated, is bad? I tell you one story. When I was going to school, I believe I was in grade 6, and one morning I had to go to school, and my hair I needed to shave my hair, because your hair had to be a certain level to be allowed in school. You couldn't grow your hair. Today I can grow my hair free of charge. Well, I'm keeping it because of the cold, so it's winter, so I need it. All right, but this morning I had to go to school, and I realized my hair was long, and I decided to cut it, and I asked my brother to cut my hair, and he cut my hair. And when your brother cut your hair, it's not just gonna be good. You know what I mean? We were not professionals. So when I went to school, and everybody started talking about my hair because I was popular, they used to call me the reverend for the school, because I taught, I preach devotions time. I taught minister the Bible, and led devotion most of the time. So they used to call me the reverend. So just imagine, I was popular. Imagine the entire school is now focusing on my hair that is all chopped up, and I have to deal with that. Today, if that happened, you will find out that children will run home, children will go in the principal office, and children will withdraw to themselves. But I use those situations to bring people more, because instead of you, but the moment I realized that they started to talk about my hair, I started talking about my hair myself. Children have to develop their own way out. Their own way out. They have to learn how to get out of their own situations. Stop sponge feeding the children. Bullying is not good, but at the same time, the children supposed to learn how to get out. They have to develop their own way out. Because at the job, when you are doing a specific job and something go wrong that is not in your manual of what you are doing, you have to develop, you have to come up with something quick to solve the problem. And for those of you government officials that are in higher offices, you go to some meetings, or you having most of these senators and representatives and governors, when you're having a town conference, and people come to ask questions. Some of the questions you don't even prep for it, you don't think about it. But when it comes, it's new to you, so you have to develop your way out. You have to develop a situation, a solution very fast, so that you get out of that situation. Which of course led to the downfall of many candidates, Republican candidates during the primary, because most of them was just reading over the note that they have prompted them and gave them. So no matter what the question is, they will always read the script. Yeah, you're talking about control of nuclear control in the Middle East or other part of the world, and they are talking about stabilizing the economy, because that's what they were prepped on. If you are not prepared to improvise while you are now a child or and in school among your peers, you will not be able to improvise when you are out there. You will only go by what people are telling you. Well, the children has to learn, have to start learning how to be independent, to deal with their own problem, their own ways. We got all kinds of regulations now. You can bully, and when you are caught bullying, now they are even extended it to cyber bullying. Well, I'm not seeing you, you're not seeing me. If you send me a message on social media and I don't like it, I don't have to be upset. If you are friends, I unfriend you and I block you. And if I keep getting messages from a lot of people, I delete the account and create a new account. That's life. So there is no excuse for not allowing our children to develop their own strategy to solve their own problem. You will not be with your child all the time. Many children grew up parentless. Many children grew up in foster home and they are strong. Why few grew up in foster home and in their own home and are weak? We have to let the children be children. We have to let them associate with their fellow. They have to play with each other. They have to associate. Nowadays, they got their online school, their K-12 online program that the child can stay in their home and go to school. Are you really serious with that? What are they learning? The letters in the book? 2-3 years from now, the letters in the book are going to change. They are going to change. When I was doing computer, 2007 and 8, the book that we use for networking, they don't use them anymore because that section has been upgraded. So the letters in the books changes all the time. So what happens if the child only learning the letters in the book and not the real experience out there, and the letter in the book change? What happens? That child have to, now they are no more a child, they have grown up, they have to readjust completely. And some of the outcomes we are seeing today. Okay. So remember, allow children to associate with their fellow and not isolate themselves in the interest of bullying. Today we don't even allow our children to go play. We got video games, we got everything right in the house. Children just play video games and they are done. Yes, they are done. And most of the time we parents, we don't notice these things because we are busy working. We have no time for our children. Take time for your children. If you want their future to be good, better, take time for them. The last one I'm going to leave you with is, let children be children. Remember, you were once a child. Let your children be children. And in conclusion to all of that I all said, all summarized in this, if all of these things come into place, the children will be children. That means as a child, they will get discipline from parents when they go wrong. They will get discipline from the school when they go wrong. And they will be told the truth when they fail. And they will be allowed to deal with their own problems their own way in their own time. With our help, we will help them. I hope this message resonates with you that are watching, especially the government. And I'm wearing Obama t-shirt, but he's just my guy. I love the man. Yeah, he's one of the best presidents I think America I've ever seen. So I just love him, and I wear his t-shirt all the time. So thank you very much. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I hope this message will reach the proper authority. Till we meet again, have a wonderful day. God bless you, and God bless this United States of America. Thank you, and bye-bye.